What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of The Unbiased Hard Take. We have a big show for you guys this week. Excited to be here. I'm a little sick, so bear with me this episode. I cough a little bit. But we're going to talk about Kyler Murray signing a one-year deal, veteran minimum, with the Minnesota Vikings. We're going to talk about Maxx Crosby's trade to Baltimore being rescinded due to bad physical, as well as giving you the truth on Bam Adebayo and why the haters are crying so hard. Stay tuned for more. We're very excited this week. What's going on, everybody? Again, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of The Unbiased Hard Take. If you haven't already done so, we'll go ahead and get this out of the way. Go like us on Facebook. Link to that will be in the description down below. And subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate your support from you guys. I put out a lot of content last week, and we had two of our videos. One hit 2K views, and then one hit a little over 1.5K views. And then the third one hit about 20 views away from 1K. So just shy of 1K on that one as well. So a lot of content this week. Excuse me, there it is. Told you about it's that weather in Indiana here, I tell you. Crazy stuff. But again, appreciate the support from you guys. We've been pushing out a lot of content. The algorithm's really liking what we've been putting out. So tell everyone about it. We want to see those views turn into subscribers. So we're going to jump right on into it. Got that out of the way already, thank goodness. So we're going to start with Kyler Murray here because he signed, I have the exact number here, a one-year, $1.3 million deal with the Vikings. And that's a crazy cheap contract for the Kyler Murray. And I did call him out last week saying he is a YouTube quarterback, and he is. He has arm talent. He's a good deep ball threader. He's athletic. He's going to make a couple good plays a game. That's going to make a highlight reel. It's going to make SportsCenter top 10. It's going to make the YouTube highlights. He's a YouTube quarterback, and that is true. And let's not act like the Cardinals are the prime example of a team that you want to be copying what they're doing. They're not. They're a poorly ran organization. They don't have any culture. Jonathan Gannon got fired. He was a defensive coach, so Kyler Murray didn't even have an offensive coach to run with. And I think this is a great move for the Vikings. I'm not happy about this because, of course, as a Packer fan, why would I be? Because it looks like, obviously, at this point, the J.J. McCarthy era is over, and he looked absolutely abysmal. He's a meme on the internet. Good old 9, as we know. And even with a crapshoot of a season, it was a disastrous season for the Vikings. You had Max Brosmer out there looking horrible, Carson Wentz at some point in the season, and of course, J.J. McCarthy was a mess in and out of the lineup for injuries. In his second year, couldn't even stay healthy in his year 2. So it looks like all signs are pointing to Kyler Murray starting, and he's not even being on the Vikings salary cap dang near. Because, I mean, he doesn't need any money from the Vikings because the Cardinals are paying him $36.8 million this year to not be on the roster. So Minnesota pretty much gets a free quarterback. A former Pro Bowl quarterback in 2021, has made the playoffs in the past, has a playoff game experience under his belt, and they're pretty much getting a Sam Darnold do-over. Because as we know, they should not have gotten rid of Sam Darnold. I'm so glad they did. Otherwise, they may have been the ones hoisting the Lombardi. But of course, the Vikings are idiots, and they're going to make wrong decisions. But I mean, Kyler Murray is a little. He's not really a hard worker. There's issues about his leadership coming out of the locker rooms. Reports in the past of Call of Duty. He plays too many video games. How dedicated is he? And while all those things are true, you can take a decent, mediocre quarterback, slightly above average quarterback, and I think that's where Murray is, slightly above average, and you can make him into a B+, B-level quarterback with good supporting cast and good coaching. Kevin O'Connell's proven he can turn a quarterback around. He has with Sam Darnold. And they have great weapons around him. Aaron Jones restructured his deal. Excuse me. Justin Jefferson, obviously. You have Addison. So, I mean, the Vikings have weapons. So he's going to be able to sling the ball. He's going to have way better weapons than what he had in Arizona. And mind you, last season, the Vikings, with all three of those quarterbacks playing like garbage, a crapshoot clown show, the NFC North is the only division with all 4 teams with a winning record. The Vikings finished the season 9 wins, 8 losses. And that's with McCarthy, Brosmer, Carson Wentz. So they're going to be a 10-11 win team with Kyler Murray, so long as he stays healthy. But the value at $1.3 million, this is absolutely a bargain. This is not good news as a Packers fan, but for the Vikings, they got much better with that because now they have competition from McCarthy. I don't really think there's much competition there because I think Murray is going to absolutely start for the Vikings. I mean, he is a YouTube quarterback, but he's not even 30. He will be 29 by next season. He has a summer birthday. I did look that up. And like I said, he can be good with the right organization, and the Vikings have proven. They have talent around him. They made Kirk Cousins look better than he is. They've made many quarterbacks look better than what they actually are. And they've proven they can even win when they don't have a quarterback at all on the team, like Maxx Crosby. Still get a 9-win winning record. I mean, that's just a reality. Murray in 2021 was a Pro Bowler and had his best season then. The injuries over the last few years have plagued him, so it's going to be a big injury concern. I do expect McCarthy to still be on the team. I do think he'll be quarterback too. Excuse me. Man, it's killing me. But we're here anyways. Sports to talk about. It's the time of the day where I lock myself in a room and scream about sports. We love it. But unfortunately for the Packers, Murray did sign with the Vikings. I thought he would go somewhere like the Jets, and had that happen, it'd be a totally different situation, because in that case, they would ruin his career, just like they did Justin Fields. Justin Fields looked good in Pittsburgh because he had supporting cast around him. He had a good, stable culture, organization, nucleus under the Tomlin era of winning, a winning culture. And you put a quarterback like Murray or Fields in that situation, they can perform well. But you've seen what happened when Fields was with the Jets. One of the worst quarterbacks in the league. And that would have happened to Murray had he went to a team like that. But because he went to stability, he went to an offensive head coach in O'Connell who's done quarterback turnarounds in the past. 2 good receivers, good, decent offensive line, decent defense, decent running game. Aaron Jones is still there. He restructured his deal to return back to Minnesota. So the Vikings have plenty of talent, and I expect them to be back in the playoff chase this year. That was a very good signing for them, unfortunately. But I do want to move on. I don't want to glaze the Vikings too hard. I don't want to give them too much credit. We don't want to do that on this podcast too much. So we are going to move on. We're going to talk a little bit about Maxx Crosby. We said that in our last show. That is crazy. We broke news that Maxx Crosby was traded, and that has since been rescinded. We did a YouTube short about that the night it happened. And it was called off due to a physical issue. This is really a very weird situation. You don't see stuff like this a lot. And I honestly think this could have more to do with, I think the Ravens maybe decided that that's not the route they wanted to go down and made some crap up. Because there's quotes I have pulled up here from agents that say, you pull this quote up here. There we go. Quote from Crosby, I know there's no guarantees in this, but I'm going to give everything in my heart and soul to bring a championship to Baltimore. There's no more words needed for that. But of course, we know that did not happen. And then his agent ended up saying that he was going to be ready by OTAs. Quote, yes, that he will be ready by off-season programming, is the quote I was looking for. So Baltimore, I think, with them signing Trey Hendrickson, actually got better than getting Maxx Crosby. Because Hendrickson had an injured season last year, missed a lot of time, didn't get 10 sacks. But Crosby barely got 10 sacks last year. And 2 of the last 3 years, Trey Hendrickson's had 17.5 sacks. He's a former sack leader. He is a little older, in his early 30s. But, mind you, the Ravens get a pass rush, and mind you, they had the second worst pass rush in Baltimore Ravens history. One of their biggest weaknesses. They only had 30 sacks last season. It's one of the worst in the league. Some of the worst in Ravens history. Like I said, second worst. So they absolutely needed to address that. And they get an elite pass rusher in Hendrickson that they would have gotten in Crosby, but get to keep the draft compensation in doing so. They don't have to give the Raiders any draft picks. And the Raiders still get to keep Crosby. Now, the Raiders really, I think, didn't really lose that either. This is one of those weird situations where no one really lost this. Normally, this would be catastrophic for one of these sides, but it's not. I mean, maybe for Maxx Crosby, but the Raiders on paper look a lot better today. Sign Quay Walker, Tyler Lindenbaum to secure the O-line. They have the number 1 pick. They're going to get their quarterback in Mendoza. They signed Dean and Jalen Nazier, the receiver, the help the receiver room from Minnesota. And he's an explosive player. You watch the tape on him, he's one of the most underrated receivers. He just didn't get a lot of targets because he was playing with Addison and Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson. So, of course, you're not going to get targets as really the fourth receiver because there's another tight end there taking targets away from you. So I think the Raiders really didn't lose much in this either. And maybe Crosby would be more willing to play for the Raiders because they have Genty, obviously. They have some talent on that roster. New head coach, Kubiak's coming in there, offensive mind. Maybe he can be the next hot head coach. So they have fresh blood in there. Tom Brady's in the building as a minority owner. So there are some signs pointing up for the Raiders organization. And again, the Ravens addressed the pass rush anyway and didn't even have to give the Raiders their draft picks in doing so and got Trey Hendrickson. So this, again, is one of those really, really weird situations that both teams sort of came away with this unscathed. They're both going to be okay. And that's one that I truly think is a bunch of baloney. There's nothing wrong with Maxx Crosby. The Ravens came up with some baloney and rescinded the trade because they couldn't make an official until 4 p.m. on the official league year. I think they chickened out, offered something to Hendrickson, and realized they could get an elite pass rusher and keep the draft picks. And that's smart football. I don't blame them. And the Raiders get to keep one of the best defensive players in the league as well to build around him and keep that core, maybe keep that type of culture there and have a culture builder around Crosby with a lot of these new signings and young players that want to be bringing in like Mendoza. But I do want to move on from that topic. We've talked enough about NFL because NFL football is not even happening right now. But NBA basketball is. And with NBA basketball happening, I did do a YouTube short, and that one went very well with the algorithm about Bam Adebayo passing Kobe Bryant, second all-time on the all-time scoring list in a single game. And everyone's freaking out about this, and I don't really know why, because he didn't really break any records. The record's 100, not 81. People are just mad he passed Kobe. Kobe passed away. He's an NBA legend. I love Kobe. He's on the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion. I get a lot of hate for that. He's on my Mount Rushmore. He's the greatest Laker of all time. No one's taking him away from that. Bam's performance does not take away from Kobe's performance. I talked a little bit about that the other night, but I want to break it down a little more today. Because people say, oh, it was the Wizards, and it was the Wizards. They're abysmal on defense. I understand. But let's not act like the 2005, 2006 Raptors were any better. I have the Kobe game right here. The Lakers won 122-104. And look, they won by more than 10 points as well. So why was Kobe in the game that late in the game for him either? Why was he in the game taking shots? Why didn't they take him out of the game? Why didn't Phil Jackson take him out? Because you go for the record. The people complaining don't have the Kobe mentality. Kobe would have wanted Bam to go for the record. He wouldn't have wanted him to sat and then Kobe's record would have an asterisk on it because Bam never went for it. That's not what Kobe would have wanted. Kobe likes competition. Kobe dropped a 50 burger on MJ, and MJ was his idol because that's the Kobe mentality. Anyone complaining about this does not have the Kobe mentality. And it doesn't take away from Kobe's performance. And I have the stats right here. His performance was absolutely outstanding. So I'm looking at it. Kobe Bryant for that game obviously had 81 points. And he shot 28 for 46 from the field. He was 7 for 13 from three-pointer and 18 from 20 from the foul line. And I understand Bam had over 40 foul shots. Bam didn't quite shoot 50% from the field, 20 for 43 from the field, but he still shot 46.5% from the field. He did get 43 free throw attempts. I understand the complaints about that. But 83 points, they beat the Wizards, and the Wizards are abysmal, but the Raptors were in the 2005-2006 season too. At the time of the Lakers-Raptors game, the Raptors were 14-27. That's awful. And actually, how'd they finish the season? You're not giving us all the information. Well, they finished 12th in the East at 27-55. They were only one game better than the Charlotte Bobcats. It was the Bobcats at that time, for those that can remember. And we know how abysmal they were. So there's only one game better than the Bobcats. So let's not act like Kobe did it against like the Pistons that year that won 64 games. He didn't. He did it against a crap Raptors team, just like Bam did it against a crap Wizards team. People complaining about that obviously don't know basketball, or they would know that. Again, if you have an issue with Bam breaking this record, stop watching the show, because you are stupid. You can appreciate Bam's performance, and it doesn't take away from Kobe's. I just gave you the stats. I understand. Kobe's was more impressive, in my opinion, because he shot less foul shots. It was before the three-point era. It was, and when they still had more intense defense back in the day. I get all that. I'm not saying that Kobe's wasn't more impressive, but Bam did break the record. And had this been Dame Lillard breaking the record, or LeBron breaking the record, and Edwards, Giannis, Jokic, a big name like that, SGA, there'd be no complaints about it. But because it's Bam, and because Bam's not a flashy player, he doesn't get a lot of headlines, he's not fancy. So he doesn't get... We all know the NBA is more of an entertainment sport. You like the flash and the bling-bling type of thing. He doesn't give you that. So people naturally have a problem with that. That's why Tim Duncan isn't on a lot of people's Mount Rushmore, because he's boring. Bam is boring. But Bam is also a better player than people give him credit for. Multiple-time All-Star. Been in the finals twice. In the playoffs every year. Almost a whole decade of elite basketball play. Averaged a double-double more than once. Second leading all-time scorer in NBA history for a single game now. He's been a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in the past. All-defensive team player in the past. Bam is no scrub. Give Bam his respect. If you don't give him his respect, like I said, stop watching this show. This show's not for you. Go watch some other show that doesn't know basketball. That's going to give you a bunch of crap takes. Go watch them. Because that's not what we're about here. We're going to give Bam his props. And that's not because I'm a Heat guy. I'm a Heat fan, but anyone who scores 83, that's impressive. We're never going to see anything like that for a long time. So give Bam his props. We witnessed history. Why can't you guys just appreciate it? That's all I'm saying. But that's all I have for today's Unbiased Hard Take. Again, let me know in the comments what you think about the show. What do you think of Bam's performance? Do you have an issue with it? I hope not. Otherwise, again, like I said, stop watching the show. Let me know in the comments though what you think of the show, what you want us to hear us talk about. March Madness Selection Sundays tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. We'll be doing a short tomorrow about that. And go check out our Facebook page as always. We're putting out content daily on there. I still gotta do today's sports fact today. Been struggling on that. It's my day off. Give me credit. Hey, give me a break. But again, that's all I got. Selection Sunday tomorrow. So again, like I said, look for a video on that. We'll be doing our March Madness bracket next week before the games start. So we'll be going live for that. So keep an eye out for that as well. A lot of content will be pushing out. Basketball is heating up, baby. March Madness is here. But until next time, go Pat, go. Let's go Heat. And ball her up, baby. See y'all tomorrow, and tomorrow's short.